What's going on, guys? So as is usually the case, Richard Keys and his mates on talkSPORT have been spouting some absolute fucking drivel over the weekend, and unfortunately, the comments have been gaining traction on social media. Given their modus operandi to get people talking regardless of whether the reaction to their views are positive or negative, it's very much job done on their part, and the irony isn't lost on me that I'll only be adding fuel to the fire with this video. However, I'm making this simply because I do find it slightly concerning just how much influence they have on people who know the square root of fuck all about Nottingham Forest and now hold a negative impression of them before a ball has even been kicked this season. For those of you who live abroad and aren't aware of talkSPORT, they're basically a shit-stirring radio station who employ opinionated wind-up merchants in order to engage in debates which lack in any sort of substance but successfully fuel negativity and rage. They do have some quality presenters like Laura Woods and Ali McCoist, but the vast majority of those on air have single-digit IQs. They've been at it since 1995, so it's nothing new, but I firmly believe the agenda against Lingard and Forest needs to be nipped in the bud. These Muppets have released 18 videos and counting on this topic, slandering both the player as well as club for no good reason. While I've already done a breakdown establishing why they're wrong last week, which you can access via the top right hand corner of your screen, I wanted to address the sheer hypocrisy and double standards at play here. First and foremost, treating Lingard's use of TikTok like it's a bloody war crime. Is it my cup of tea? Not a fucking prayer. However, why is making cringeworthy clips frowned upon while partaking in activities like drink driving, adultery, blackmail and substance abuse swept under the rug? It just doesn't add up. Secondly, the notion that Lingard is purely chosen to go to Forest for money. The man literally had an offer on the table from Saudi Arabia. If his motives were purely financial, then he would have fucked off a long time ago. Did Forest present a more financially lucrative package than West Ham? Absolutely. But how on earth can you blame anyone for going ahead with that? At the end of the day, it's a job, and just like any other profession, chances are you'll head to somewhere you're getting paid more, especially when it's to a huge club where he'll be the main man, which is far from guaranteed at West Ham with their soon-to-be stacked forward line, and in turn enhances Lingard's chances of getting picked for Southgate's World Cup squad. Take Richard Keys, for example. Aside from being an incredibly hairy man who cheated on his terminally ill wife with his daughter's best friend, racially abused a footballer live on air, and got sacked from Sky Sports for constantly making sexist remarks, he also happens to work in a country infamous for its human rights violations. Ultimately, that's down to the salaries being given, which makes his criticism aimed at Lingard all the more senseless. Oh, and the fact that no employer in the UK would touch his ass with a barge pole. Thankfully for Forest fans, when Richard Keys makes a prediction, more often than not the opposite takes place. So I'm now fully expecting a top half finish with Lingard being nominated for Player of the Season come May. Fair play to the geezer, I say. He's obviously quite bitter to be out of the limelight with the likes of Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher getting all the attention back home, so he has to make outrageous claims in order to make the headlines, something which he rather tragically accuses Lingard of doing. In a rather twisted sense, I quite enjoy Keys' ramblings. It's almost like he wakes up every morning and thinks to himself, how could I possibly make myself look like a bigger twat than everyone knows I already am before posting on Twitter? And I'll tell you what, he does a bang-up job. In all seriousness though, a big reason why you get so much knee-jerk hysteria in the footballing world is down to the spin put on everything by the media. They've decided to create a mountain out of a molehill in order to make up for a lack of competitive football and transfer activity. In fact, this probably wouldn't have even been debated had this happened during a busier period of the year. It was not so long ago Simon Jordan claimed Steve Cooper was a perennial loser, and now that he's proven him wrong, you don't hear so much as a whisper. Even if you do in the future, it'll only be after some serious shifting of the goalposts. While Simon Jordan does have some interesting insight as a former owner of a football club, he's also a bellend with a capital B who's convinced people that he's a lot smarter than he actually is due to his vast vocabulary and petulant habit of hastily talking over others. My big hope was for YouTubers to call out stations like this on their bullshit, but most just toe the party line as they want to be part of their setup, which increasingly seems to be becoming the case and is a bleeding shame. If this past week is anything to go by, Forest are going to be the target of a lot more hit pieces this season. Look no further than the reported wages for Lingard. The word around the block was between 180 and 200k, when in reality it's 115,000 per week plus bonuses, which is standard for a free agent in the prime of his career. As irritating as that may be, it could help to create a siege mentality which has historically generated a real sense of unity amongst all involved at a club and led to some smashing results, which I sincerely hope is the case here. As for Forest's subpar performances in preseason, I think supporters need to be extremely patient moving forward. With all these changes in personnel, it will undoubtedly take time for things to gel, and I wouldn't be surprised if the side don't really get going until October time. I've seen some folk having a pop at Teo Awani, for example, but it's impossible to make a judgment call until he's played a competitive game and actually has service from midfield to get at the end of chances. It's going to be a long road ahead, but the key is to remain positive during inevitably trying circumstances and enjoy the ride. Cheers for tuning in, guys. I know it's a bit of a rant there, and I'm sorry my voice isn't the best today. Got a bit of a sore throat, but I do hope you enjoyed the video. If that is the case, please do consider giving it a like and subscribe for more football-related content. I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments down below, and hope you have a great week ahead. Peace.